WJHG TV News Channel 7, working for you. And now, Teresa Nurse, Judy Dickey, and Greg Sherrill with Northwest Florida's #1 news team. This is the Weekend Report.
Hello again, everyone. The man killed in last night's traffic accident on Powerline Road was a Panama City man. According to investigators, 2 men were traveling on Powerline Road when the driver crossed onto private property. The property had a cable strung across the road. The driver, 20-year-old John M. Sykes, struck the cable and was thrown from the motorcycle. He was killed in the accident. The passenger was treated for minor injuries and released from Bay Medical Center. A 9-hour search for a Destin man has come up empty. Dive teams and helicopters were called out this morning to the Chattahoochee River following a boating-related accident last night. 2 men were fishing under the Clyde Wells Bridge in South Walton County. They had their boat tied up to a concrete pillar. They were fishing from a concrete platform. The boat came loose and one of the men dove in after the boat. That's the last time 39-year-old Timothy Hayden was seen.
The boat came loose and he was trying to catch a boat and swim trying to catch it. The wind was blowing it and he was swimming to it and he didn't make it to it.
A second man was stranded on the pillar under the bridge. He was later rescued. The Florida Marine Patrol is continuing the search. A 69-year-old Panama City man is dead following an accidental shooting this morning near Clear Lake Road. That's off of Camp Flowers Road. Investigators say Jack McKellen was practicing target shooting with several other people. A witness told sheriff's deputies he heard several rounds being fired and later found McKellen on the ground. McKellen apparently shot himself. Investigators do not suspect foul play or suicide. McKellen was an avid shooter. He was practicing with a new 9mm pistol. The Department of Environmental Protection is studying information gathered from a surprise inspection of the incinerator here in Bay County. Allegations of air pollution by neighbors from that area is what spurred the investigation. News Channel 7's Gaston Ryu was on hand for the surprise visit and tells us what they found.
It's 2:30 Saturday morning, and Henry Hernandez is getting ready to do something he has never done before. He's getting ready for a surprise inspection of the incinerator off of Highway 231.
Well, there's been allegations that the plant and the facility is running maybe full force or putting in more load than they're supposed to in the evenings. And they're doing an unannounced inspection to determine that.
Once at the industrial park, the first thing you notice is heavy clouds coming from the incinerator and a fog that surrounds the area. Hernandez explains why.
From the cooling towers, because the relative humidity is so high, instead of going into the atmosphere or mingling with the atmosphere, the water droplets, they're just coming down.
After a few minutes of delay at the gate, we were in.
I don't expect anything to be wrong. We have not had any problems with the facility in the past. I hope that we're not going to have any problems tonight, but that will tell us tonight when we go inside and we check all the instrumentation.
Some of the information Hernandez took down tonight includes temperature, humidity, and wind speed. This will help him to determine if the plant is working within regulations. And what did he find out from this surprise inspection?
Right now it seems pretty good. It seems to be running okay right now.
In Bay County, Gaston Ryu, News Channel 7.
The DEP inspects the plant about 4 times a year. Judy Dickey joins us with a look at the weather. It was a beautiful day today while we were cooped up in here.
Absolutely gorgeous out there. A little bit of rain in the northern part of the Panhandle, but plenty of sunshine here on the beaches. And when we come back, I'll let you know if you can expect that sunshine to stick around. Please stay with us.
Buffalo Rock Pepsi and WJHG would like you to meet this week's Student of the Week. Toller Griffin is a Blanchtown High School senior. Among Toller's many accomplishments, he's been involved with the Future Business Leaders of America, worked with the Junior Academy of Science, competed in track, and Toller sang on the chorus.
After graduation, I plan to go to TCC for 2 years, then transfer to Florida State to pursue a degree in law and political science.
Congratulations to Toller Griffin from Buffalo Rock Pepsi and WJHG.
Choosing the right heating and cooling dealer used to be a real guessing game. But now, with Lennox quality dealer standards, Lennox products and dealers are an unbeatable team.
You can rely on Tarp & Dock Metalcraft. They serve Panama City's air conditioning needs since 1945 with quality Lennox products.
I'm Richard Worley of Shipley Heating and Cooling.
Shipley Heating and Cooling promises quality installations and service.
You can count on us.
Now get cash back or special financing on selected Lennox systems. Chrysler invites you to lease a leader. Concorde, last year's automobile of the year, now only $269 a month. The highly acclaimed six-passenger New Yorker, only $294. And the car that reinvented sports sedans, Chrysler LHS, is only $329. All with standard dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. Lease a leader. The award-winning cab-forward Chrysler.
Only at your Florida Panhandle area Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Good evening. It was a beautiful day down along the Florida Gulf Coast. As you can see on the local satellite, a lot of scattered cloudiness is still coming towards us out of the Gulf, but it's dissipating as it comes on shore. Right now, outside Channel 7, it's only partly cloudy and 70 degrees. Our winds are light and variable, humidity about 90%. The barometer's rising. Gulf temperature fell just a little bit, and the high temperature at the Bay County Water Treatment Plant was 80 degrees. Here are your tide forecasts for tomorrow. High tides in the late morning and low tides in the evening with ranges at about 1.5 feet at Panama City and Port St. Joe. And both rivers continue to fall just slightly today, down to 9.89 at the Caryville reading on the Talkehatchee. Let's look now at the local radar picture. You can see these are the real returns right here. We did have some shower activity up right along the Apalachicola River, but nothing throughout the rest of the Panhandle, this being a false echo out near Pensacola. And on the three-dimensional satellite, you can see why those were rain showers instead of thunderstorms. The clouds never really got very tall. We didn't get the buildups we need to really get any thunderstorm activity out of them. In the meantime, on the national picture, two locations actually got cold enough for snow in the mountains of California and Arizona. Elsewhere, fairly mild temperatures, a little bit of rain through Montana, north of an occluded front, and more rain from Minnesota all the way to Michigan with a warm front in that area. Nice mild temperatures down in the southeast. Tonight, you can look for winds out of the southeast and south. That's going to keep our humidity rising steadily through the night. And when we hit our low temperature in the mid-60s, look for some patchy fog to form, mostly in the inland areas, with a few lingering scattered rain showers. Tomorrow morning, when you get up, look for about 65 degrees at 7 in the morning. We're going to see most of those rain showers move out of our area and dissipate, and the fog should burn off very, very quickly. And we have to start watching a cold front headed our way. This is going to move a lot more on the upper portion than it is on the lower portion, however, and that means the thunderstorm activity will mostly be up in the north. Now, a low-pressure trough moving towards us from the Gulf in the afternoon is going to cause quite a bit of thunderstorm activity along the Gulf Coast. We'll probably even see some here on the Panhandle with a high temperature in the upper 70s to low 80s. Monday night, things cool back down again, and look for an increased chance of rain showers and an increased chance for fog as low temperatures only fall into the mid to upper 60s. Lots of humidity with this system. And Tuesday, you'll see this front continues to move quite a bit in the upper portion, pushing thunderstorms ahead of it, but slowing down a lot in the lower portion. And it looks like it's not going to actually come through us at all. But as that upper portion moves towards the east, the lower portion will dissipate and will not affect our weather. Let's take a look now at our detailed local forecast. Partly cloudy conditions tonight with winds out of the east at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Seas will be 2 to 4 feet offshore, and lows will be in the low to mid-60s. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy early in the day, mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, winds out of the southeast, and highs from the upper 70s to mid-80s. Now, as we take a look midweek, looks like a very typical summer pattern. Partly cloudy skies all 3 days. You'll see those isolated afternoon thunderstorms. Highs gradually increasing to almost 90 degrees on Thursday, but look how warm it stays at night. Lows in the mid-60s to right around 70 degrees. It's going to be humid and hot with showers and thunderstorms. It's summertime in Florida.
All right, thanks, Judy. When we come back, you and your neighbors help to restock the shelves at the Salvation Army. And a Panama City couple will have a new home thanks to a local group who builds homes for low-income families.
However you keep track of time, this is a great deal. Honda's new 24-month lease. Because now, for a limited time, with $1,000 down, you can lease a Civic DX for just $1,000. $169 a month for 24 months. Or, if you prefer, about $5.50 a day. Leadership leasing from your Honda dealer.
Uh-oh. You remember. Florida Lottery Bingo. 4 games on every ticket.
Have a dog, have a dog.
Up to 56 ways to win. Well, guess what? We want to give away over $100 million in prize money this year. So play Florida Lottery Bingo. Or she will.
Oh, there was a farmer had a...
Ooh, that's fun. The Gulf area. You're watching Northwest Florida's News Channel 7, the 10 o'clock report.
An update on the fall victim we reported on last night. James Backus has had 2 more operations, according to family members. These are in addition to the 2 we told you about last night. Backus is in stable condition at the Baptist Hospital in Pensacola after falling 9 stories from the Hidden Dunes construction site in South Walton Friday afternoon. One thing we do want to clarify, the 29-year-old Panama City man fell off the building, not the crane, as we reported last night. More bloodshed in the lead up to South Africa's historic all-race elections. That story tops our World in Brief tonight. 9 people died from a car bombing in Johannesburg. Later, 3 Freedom Party supporters were shot to death after a campaign rally. Still, South Africa's political leaders say the election will go on as planned. It seems the Serbs have finally stopped their takeover of Gorazde. With NATO airstrikes still a possibility, the UN reports a Serb retreat. 22 wounded were airlifted out of the Muslim enclave today, and UN peacekeepers have moved in. No peace for Rwanda anytime soon. Government representatives failed to show at initial talks. Fighting between rebels and the government has been called extraordinary by the UN. Almost 200 hospital patients and staff were killed today. And elsewhere in the capital, reporters found a 6-year-old girl hiding in a pile of over 100 corpses. More than 100,000 have died and 2 million turned refugees in 2 weeks of fighting throughout Rwanda. Well, the food pantries are a little bit fuller at the Salvation Army today. That's thanks to Subway and the citizens of Bay County. The Subway Heroes for Hunger canned food drive brought in over 700 cans of food. Subway restaurants in Bay County gave away free 6-inch sub sandwiches for any canned food item, all of which goes to the Bay County Salvation Army to help restock their food
They brought
supply.
soup, spaghetti, raviolis, all kinds of stuff, mushrooms, cereal, dry milk, and just all kinds of stuff.
The food drive was held in over 8,000 stores in U.S. and Canada. The goal for today's drive was to collect 3 million cans of food. Habitat for Humanity is adding another house to their list of houses in the Bay County area. They broke ground today for the first Habitat home to be built in Panama City. In about a month, George and Linda Beecham, along with their 6 children, will be able to move into their new home. Habitat's first in Panama City. Materials, land, and funding for the home were all donated, with volunteers beginning construction May 14th.
I'm just so grateful to God and to the Habitat for Humanity for selecting us to be the next family to get a new home.
The finished product is sold at no profit to the family, which usually costs around $28,000. No interest mortgages are issued for the new home. And Greg Sherrod joins us now to look at sports and some wheeling and dealing I hear today.
And New York City for the NFL draft, which for me is like watching the draft is like playing behind a slow foursome on the golf course. You know, just make the pick, hit the ball.
We'll update you on the draft when we come back, and some guys who don't take a long time to do what they got to do is the boys on the NASCAR circuit. He went right down to the wire at the Haynes 500 today. We'll have more when we come back.
Thinking about getting a pizza? Yeah. But hey, don't get up. Call Pizza Hut. We'll deliver it. We deliver everything, from the Super Supreme with 9 delicious toppings to the legendary value Bigfoot. because we've got just the pizza you want, just the way you want it, and we'll deliver it right to your door. And for the ultimate delivery, Pizza Hut announces the ultimate meat combo. The ultimate combination of 2 types of Italian sausage, thick slices of pepperoni for a huge meaty taste. 1 bite, and there's no going back. Get a medium delivered, only $9.99.
At Regions Bank, our strength means convenience. More than 230 offices. Cash when you need it with the right card. And instant account information with the right call. We make banking easier. So rather than spending your time finding the bank, you can spend your time finding each other. Regions Bank. Let us lend you our strength.
Attention, Lloyd GMC Truck Center announces a big weekend sale, April 22nd and 23rd. Credit union members and non-members are welcome. The entire inventory of new GMC trucks, vans, and utility vehicles reduced for this sale. For example, choose from a large inventory of new custom vans starting as low as $19,994. Full-size Sierra pickups as low as $12,994. Save big this weekend at the Lloyd GMC Truck Center, 100 East 23rd Street, your tri-state GMC truck dealer.
Join News Channel 7's Joe Moore for news headlines. Weekdays at 6, 7, and 8 a.m. on WFSY, Sunny 98.5.
The 59th annual NFL Draft conducted today and tonight from New York City. Only the first 2 rounds of the draft was held. The Cincinnati Bengals had the #1 pick. NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue with the announcement.
The Bengals have selected Dan Wilkinson, defensive tackle, Ohio State University.
Wilkinson played only 2 years of college ball at OSU. The 6'3", 315-pound sophomore considered one of the top defensive line prospects in the past decade. The Indianapolis Colts had the 2nd pick, and they went with Marshall Faulk, the breakaway running back from San Diego State, who led the nation in rushing as a freshman and sophomore. The Colts also had the #5 pick. They grabbed Trev Alberts of Nebraska, who won the Butkus Award as the nation's best linebacker. Choosing 3rd, the Washington Redskins. Their first-round pick, Tennessee quarterback Keith Schuler, who left college a year early. Schuler set a school record with 25 TD passes last season. He was runner-up in the Heisman Trophy voting. By the way, New England had the 4th pick. They went with Willie McGinnis, defensive end from Southern Cal. Here's the second half of the top 10. It is Trent Dilfer, the quarterback from Fresno State, picked by Tampa Bay. Then #7, Bryant Young, defensive tackle from Notre Dame. Going to the 49ers, Sam Adams, defensive end from Texas A&M, picked by Seattle. Alabama's Antonio Langham, the outstanding defensive back for the Tide, going to Cleveland. And Jeremy Miller of UCLA, linebacker, picked by Arizona. Now for the Miami Dolphins, their 2 picks in the draft. They had the #20 pick. They took Tim Bowens, defensive tackle of Ole Miss. And in their 2nd-round pick, 54th overall, Aubrey Beavers, a linebacker out of Oklahoma. As far as the Florida State players are concerned that were taken, we can make that singular, as in player, the 1st round, the 28th pick overall, William Floyd, chosen by San Francisco. Floyd, the big fullback for the Seminoles, will join Amp Lee there. And the Florida player chosen in the 2nd round, 34th pick overall, the school's all-time leading rusher, Eric Rett, taken by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, David Palmer of Alabama, chosen 2nd in the 2nd round by the Minnesota Vikings. Rounds 3 through 7 will wrap up the draft tomorrow. Terrific race up in Martinsville, Virginia today, the 8th race of the season on the Winston Cup circuit, the Haynes 500. Rusty Wallace starting from the pole, but 100 laps into the race. It's Jeff Bodine in front with Wallace 2nd. When Rusty makes a move, bumping Bodine a couple of times and then moving out to take the lead. However, with just 142 laps to go, Mark Martin is taken over with Ernie Irvin close behind. Irvin then passes Martin on the inside. It appeared that Irvin might drive to his 3rd win of the year, but a key moment in the race coming up here. Irvin and Wallace on pit road during a caution. Rusty passes Ernie coming out of the pits, and that would prove to be the difference as Wallace drives to victory by 4 car lengths over Irvin, and Rusty's 2nd win of the year. Even though he finished 2nd, Irvin takes over the point standings lead, earning now 25 points ahead of Dale Earnhardt in the points race. PGA Golf Tour final round, Greater Greensboro Open. Mike Springer, 4-shot lead going into the last round, playing steady golf on the back 9. When veteran Hale Irwin makes a run with 3 birdies in 4 holes to move within a stroke of the lead. But Irwin falters and Springer finishes up in style, rolling in the long birdie putt on the final hole for his first career tour victory. Springer wound up at 13 under par to win by 3 strokes. Well, you have to go back to the middle of the 1993 baseball season to find the last time the Atlanta Braves lost 5 games in a row. The Braves, after winning 13 of 14 to start the season, were in danger of losing their 5th in a row as they closed out a series of the Pirates, pick it up in the 7th inning. Atlanta up 1-0. Mark Lemke takes Steve Cook deep for a solo shot to left. While Greg Maddox was silencing the Pirate bats, Lemke comes through again with a run-scoring single in the 8th, plating Fred McGriff. Atlanta's losing streak ends at 4 as the Braves take a 3-0 shutout win. The National League East leaders now 14-5 on the year. Elsewhere, the National League, the Marlins lose today to the Reds in Cincy 5-2. Chicago pounding the Rockies 12-4. St. Louis beats Houston 5-4. The Giants a 4-2 winner over the Mets. San Diego 6-5 over the Phillies, and the Dodgers in the 8th shutting out the Expos 4-0. In the American League, the Yankees are on a roll. Don Mattingly giving New York an early lead over the Oakland A's with this 3-run homer to right. But the story in the Bronx today, Jim Abbott, the Yankee starter, threw a no-hitter last season. Well, he was mowing down A's left and right and had a no-hit game going through the 6th. Then in the top of the 7th, wouldn't you know it, he loses the no-hitter on this little flare off the bat of Geronimo Baroja that falls in for a single, and no matter, Abbott and the Yanks win 6-2. New York's now won 5 in a row. But the team with the best record in the American League is the Boston Red Sox. They've won 6 in a row. Sox take over first place in the AL East. Boston beats California 5-4, while Toronto loses to the Twins 7-3. The Orioles lose to Mariners 7-6 in Baltimore. The Brewers have now won 4 in a row. Milwaukee knocking off Kansas City 7-0. Tigers beat the White Sox 7-6, and Cleveland a 12-7 winner over Texas. And the Gulf Coast baseball team is scheduled to play a makeup game with Tallahassee tomorrow at Frazier Field. That game has been called off and will be rescheduled at a later date. The Commodores wrapped up the Panhandle Conference title, winning over North Florida yesterday to win the league title. They're headed to the state tournament. They'll play on May 6th in Kissimmee. That's on a Friday, and that's the first round of the tournament.
Great. Thanks, Greg. How will you remember the late Richard M. Nixon? We'll find out what some Panama City folks said when we come back.
Its inception back in May of 1992 by AmSouth Bank and WJHG-TV, the Good Neighbor Award has been presented to many of our area's local citizens. People who go the extra mile to help others. People who go above and beyond the call of duty to make Bay County the best place to live and work. If you know someone you feel deserves local recognition, stop by any AmSouth Bank location and pick up a nomination form. The Good Neighbor Award, a local award for local people. From AmSouth Bank and WJHG-TV.
I'm Jerry Smithwick, president of WJHG-TV. Northwest Florida's news channel reports about the world and local community as it changes. However, one constant is the family. WJHG's family is committed to quality programming, so we've restructured our 6 o'clock report to be a family-sensitive newscast without footage of graphic violence, nudity, or language. We're committed to providing you the most accurate coverage of issues that affect you most. We are WJHG News Channel 7, working for you.
President Nixon died Friday evening after suffering from a stroke he had earlier in the week. So for tonight's 7 Opinions, we went out to see just what you remember about the former president.
You know, tricky dick, whatever you want to call it. I always thought he was kind of a crook. Basically, about besides saying that he died. But I guess everybody dies eventually. He was 82 years old after all.
I don't care for him. Oh, well, the Watergate is about the only thing I can remember. I didn't care for him, though, but I was a GI and I didn't care for him at all. But other than that, I guess a lot of people liked him. He did get to be president, right? Can't deny that. You're welcome.
Well, I think he was a very fine man in his day, and probably if everything came out about other presidents, I don't think he'd be the only one that would have problems like he did. But I think we're going to miss him very much.
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't in the country when he was president.
What do you remember about him? What makes you
Same thing. I
haven't been around in the United States that long, so I don't know.
His politic was a politic of, what can I say? He doesn't make a lot of trouble, I think, during his time when he was at the government, but no, nothing special, sorry.
He's dynamic. He was called Tricky Dick, probably for good reason, and he probably got what he deserved on that, but to his benefit, he came back strong. And
His trip to China, whether it was wrong or right, whatever he did, he at least opened the door. Well, he wasn't a crook, was he? Was he?
But I'm not a crook.
No, I think he got caught in the line and had to pay the price. The rest, get the free ride, the cush job.
That he was impeached. That's pretty much all I remember. I was young when he was president, so that's all I remember. Probably that he got caught. Like James said, he got caught, and a lot of other people don't. Kind of all the things that are going on with President Clinton right now, and it's kind of the same thing, and he's not getting caught.
His big nose. I remember his being a very nice man, very important man.
A great president.
Right, yeah, I remember him very well.
Got a gate. That's about it. Not much. He was okay. Not much. I don't have much to say about it.
Watergate. That's the main thing that comes to mind. I thought he was a pretty good president. I just thought he was a good leader. I think he was a little bit wacky, but he was a good leader. That's about all I know about him.
What I remember about him, I came back in the middle of Watergate and all of that I was in San Francisco at the time. So that's what I remember about him. I think, I'm glad that when he died that he was not put to shame for the rest of his life for what had happened. I mean, he just got caught in one of those circumstances of the time. And I think he did real well with the library and what he did as the spokesperson for our country overseas and everything. I was glad he seemed to come out of all that so as well as he did. So that's what I have to say about it.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Sure. That's all the time we have this evening. Now from all of us here at News Channel 7, thanks for watching. Good night.
If you are a Florida resident who owns stocks, bonds, and other securities, you may be subject to Florida intangible tax. If you don't know about this tax and how it affects you, now is the time to find out. The deadline for filing is June 30th. Don't risk having a penalty imposed for not paying. Learn the facts about Florida intangible tax. Call the Florida Department of Revenue at 1-800-FLA-DOR1.